Welcome back, Man Cave. I'm your host. Got a video here today for a high value woman who doesn't do coffee dates.
So one of my rules is I don't do coffee or drink dates. Now, I understand that some women like this or prefer this because it's a quick turnaround, 30 to 45 minutes. If you don't like him, you can get out of there. It works for some people. If you like it, I love it. This
Yes.
video is not for you. Keep scrolling. However, for me, as for me and my household, we're going to have higher standards. I'm talking to Sky, and I'm going to read it to you because we've been talking for a couple days, and he started talking about meeting up. So he said, we should get together over some pear and lychee cocktails soon. And I said, that's really sweet, but I prefer dinner. I like to get dressed up. Now, I always try to say it nicely because I don't want to be like, I don't accept drink dates. Like, you don't have to be mean. You don't have to be, you can be nice about it, but I was
I think it's interesting how demanding a woman is. He's inviting you to go out to dinner. You're not putting in a dime into any of this. That's nice, but I like to get dressed up for dinner. So why don't you take me out to dinner? Like, it's not that she's not attractive. That's not even the problem. The problem is, it's like you're demanding something, and this is the first time that you guys are going out.
just say I prefer dinner because I like to get dressed up. And he said, I see. What type of places do you have in mind? So I sent him a list of places that I've been like wanting to try, all sorts of different budgets. Okay. It ranges from like medium to a little bit higher, all different locations around the city. So he can choose like what works for him, timing and budget wise. So I sent the list of places. He says, these places sound really nice. I think it'll be fun to get to know each other over some nicer dining options. Here it comes though. But I wanted to let you know up front that if we were to meet at one of those places, I'm comfortable splitting the check. I usually will do drinks or something on the simpler end for the first meetup to see if there's a connection first.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I don't like the coffee or drink date because they're trying to audition you to see if you are worth an actual dinner.
Okay. And the problem is what? Yes, that's the whole point. The whole point is that the two people going out see if there's chemistry. It is an audition. The problem is when you're auditioning them, it's totally fine. You understand? Yeah, let's break it down. I didn't like the way he chewed his food. The way he ordered salad, but he didn't get French dressing. He got Italian. It's an audition. The problem is you don't like that it's happening to you. Just like you don't mind taking a picture with Chris Brown. But if he's liking pictures of big booty girls on IG, it's a problem. You don't like it because it's happening to you. You're getting picky with someone else is taking you on a date. You decided to pick several restaurants from low to high, as you said, that you probably can't even afford because you want someone else to pay for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have put prices, and you would have gotten a basic, simple restaurant to basically had a good environment for the two of you to get to know each other. Remember what dating used to be back in the '90s when I was young? It was about getting to know the person, not how much money you can spend on the person. Now, see, everything was totally fine when he picked the restaurant, and you're like, I don't do coffee dates. Okay, fine. I see. He's like, he probably thinks, I see where this is going. Let's go with some place that you want to go, but we'll split the bills. Now, all of a sudden, you got a problem.
This is the thing for me. Like, I know men. The number one thing men are judging you off of is your looks, right? When they see you, they meet you, they're gonna be like, okay, how beautiful is she? Is she put together? Do I find her attractive? Right? That's the number one thing. Your personality may come second, sure, but the first thing is how you look, right?
Yeah, because women don't ever look at a man for his personality, right? You see what I'm talking about? Because if that was the case, a lot of unattractive guys with personality will be bagging a whole bunch of chicks. Let's stop pretending that men and women do not look for women for their looks. That course, that's the very first thing that pops up because that's the first thing you see before they open up their mouths, right? Duh.
So, with that in mind, my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer costs $32.
Oh, here we go.
Okay? Why would I put on a full face of expensive makeup, do my hair, make sure my nails are done, make sure there's no hair on my body, and then come and spend 2 hours of my time talking to you for an $8 coffee or a $16 cocktail.
Good. And I'm glad that she's saying all this. Men, this is how the majority of modern women think. She basically had no problem putting a price tag on a dinner date for a maybe that would not even guarantee you a kiss or a hug or a reach around. But she can talk about how I coffee date, all the money I'm spending, but she didn't give a damn about the money you would be spending on that dinner date. You think she'd be letting you take her home? This is what you need to realize. They become so materialistic that they'll label everything that they have to spend. But that's not my problem. You wanted to spend all that money to make yourself look good for yourself. Because isn't that what women say? I get dressed up for myself. That's a you problem. If you don't feel attractive in your own skin, you got to put all that stuff on. That seems to be a you problem.
Be oh so for real. Let's take it even deeper. When women go out with a man that they do not know, they take a huge risk. Men are crazy. Okay, do you watch the news?
Okay.
Like 1 in 5 men are violent. He could unalive you. He could RAPE you. He could stalk you. He could harass you if he feels like it. Like, it is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. When you go out with a man, you have to share your location with your mom and your friend. You have to send a screen recording of his Hinge profile and the conversation that you guys had so that if you go missing, they have context. You have to text your friend every half an hour while you're with him to let her know that you haven't been beheaded. You have to take an Uber so that he doesn't know what kind of car you had, just in case he's crazy. And then when you get home, you have to text somebody to tell them that you made it home alive.
Make sure you get home
Men aren't doing that. They don't have to worry.
I don't know what third world country you're living in, sweetheart, but if you're dating, if the men that you've been dating with are so bad that you had to establish this in a video about how dangerous they are, then why are you dating men in the first place? Maybe you'd be more happy with a woman or a bear. The fact of the matter is, you sound like you hate men. This isn't nitpicking. This isn't me pointing the finger. No, you seriously sound like you just hate men, which is odd because why would you be sitting here talking about coffee date, dinner dates, splitting the bill, and now that men are crazy? Why would you even risk that at that point? If men are that bad, then why are you even going out with them? None of this makes any sense. You sound like a feminist.
When they meet a woman that they do not know, that their lives will be in danger. Quite the contrary, men benefit from just being seen with you in public, okay? If you are beautiful, poised, well-dressed, it reflects well on him. People look at him and they think, oh wow, he must be the man. Ooh, he probably has money. You know what? He's probably a good guy if he can pull her. And this is especially so if you are more attractive than him. If he's fugly or he's overweight or he's short, they're like, oh yeah, he must have money in order to be able to pull a baddie like that. So my thing is like, what's in it for women? We've already spent more money than you by just putting our makeup on. We're in danger. Like, what's in it for us? So
nothing. This is why I say, men, go get your passports. You fat men, this is how she thinks. This is what they think of you. My personal thing is say, lose the weight, gain your confidence, take everything you've gained for experience, get a passport, and go someplace else. She's already telling you that I'm wasting my time talking to you. I'm spending my money talking to you. You gain validation from just me being there. This is how she's talking to you. It's not like the dude who's got like several kids who's bagging all these chicks. Oh, he's just benefiting from all these chicks he's impregnating. No. These chicks find validation with that dude. You find validation with Chris Brown. That's why all of you are willing to risk your relationships for that validation, to take a picture with him. You think Chris Brown say, damn, man, my validation's going up because I'm taking this chick who's already married and having... No. He has value. He has more value than you. The fact is, you only have value with the amount of money you spent on the makeup that you plaster onto your face, because that's what you're saying. You only have value because you add makeup. Men come with value just for being themselves. They don't have makeup. They don't have to dress a certain way. They can be themselves and still have more value than you, who spent thousands of dollars to look like you have value. So what makes you different than any other woman on the planet that's a gold digger? Oh, look at me. I got to pay all these things up. What are you making? What are you doing for me? I'm thinking for a dinner date. Well, that's not too, that's kind of cheap. Can you go to an expensive one? No, I'll just spend that same money and go overseas and find a woman that's more fit friendly and more approachable. Sorry.
Then all of that, plus this man is a pharmacist, okay? You mean to tell me you make upwards of $150,000 per year,
Pocket
but you
watching.
can't take me to $120 to maybe $200 dinner?
No.
2 drinks, an appetizer, 2 entrees, and a dessert?
No.
Like, and that kind of thing, look, men are supposed to be on their, like, best behavior when they're doing a first interaction with a woman. Like, that is when they are at their absolute best. So if he's being cheap now for a first interaction, he's gonna be cheap on your birthday. He's gonna be cheap on Christmas. Like, that kind of thing, that only gets worse.
How does that equate to any other holiday? Bitch, we just met. You want me to spend $100 on a meal for you for a maybe? And don't get it twisted. A lot of these women act and look like they're high value chicks that deserve that. That's the whole thing. The makeup lies and tells you that they're way more attractive than they actually are. And then you remove it all, and now you got yourself a tragedy. No man should be spending that much money on a woman they just met. Do they all want to live that IG model life where these women who are actually attractive, who get flown everywhere, who get to go to all these countries, go on a yacht, go on these special cruises, go to these private islands, and then all these other women, the less attractive women, live vicariously through those women? That's what you got. You have yourself a delusion that these women can never understand that you're not them, but you want to be them so damn badly.
It gets better. That is the type of man that's going to want you to work full time, pay half the rent when you guys move in together, do the majority of the housework because he doesn't want to hire a housekeeper, raise the kids, plan most of the things, and then after you do your 16-hour shift of labor, he's going to want you to be happy and sexy for him for his pleasure that night. Like, that's the kind of life you're looking at. So you know what? Good for this man for asserting his boundary. He did it very nicely, and it showed me what his like attitude or approach is when it comes to dating new women, and ultimately it gave me the opportunities to choose, and I have my boundaries too, so I chose to not accept it. And so I didn't respond or anything. I didn't like bargain with him or try to justify anything. I just quietly unmatched him because I wasn't gonna let him play in my face. But like, obviously if you're on TikTok, like this is not irregular discourse. Like, this is very popular. Like, the Red Pill podcast men are always talking about like all of these things. So like, it's not uncommon. Like, men are trying to get away with this these days. They're trying to see what they can do. They're trying to get at you for less than $20. Okay, so the pharmacist tried to give me a coffee date on a Friday. Saturday, a surgeon took me to a beautiful dinner with a view. The next day after that, this other man took me to this food event where the tickets were $250 because he wanted us to have VIP. So don't feel scarce about it, because there are plenty of men, there are a plethora of men that would be more than happy to show you a good time. So never settle. Date until you find the best man for the job, and you got this. That's my TED Talk for the day. You didn't ask, but I felt like you would listen.
And I'm going to let you know, man, this is why you don't date modern women anymore. She had no problem establishing that she has a roster of men on standby. She just admitted she had foodie dates. She's telling you everything you need to know. She told you, I got foodie dates. I got men on the back order. I got men waiting to take care of me and take me to dinner at these the most expensive restaurants. These are simps. She's already moved on and found somebody else. It's not that she's not attractive. It's not that she can't do it. The problem is that She's establishing and letting every man know that this is what the state of modern women are, and they're going to push this narrative to make sure every other modern woman is just as broken as them. And what they're going to start realizing is that you're going to find yourself into a rude awakening because the large portion of men are pushing themselves away. It's already happening in China. The simp epidemic is blowing up and destroying itself, eating itself alive, and finding the men are finally waking up and not giving into the nonsense. This is in a third world country. This is the United States. This woman is going to leave a lot of you women broken. And I know that if I could tell you not to do it, but you're going to do it because you want to and you need to. You need to feel like you're that special when you're not. Stay at your level. Be average. Date average. Be happy. Don't live outside your means and try to be like the rest of these women or the women who pretend that they're doing it. And personally, I think you should be honest. Tell us that you have a roster of men that are taking care of you. So these men who are at the man cave can check you off the list. Passport boys, we out.